the gift is for the giver, right? If you give something, just by the nature of giving it, you feel great, whether it's loved, not loved, given, and accepted easily or not accepted easily. You feel good by just giving it. Hello there, everybody. It's Dr. Glenn Krieger here with another episode of your 5-Minute Friday. Now, we all have our superpowers, right? Many of us have more than one or two superpowers. So I say many of you. I don't ascribe to that for myself necessarily. But, for me, one of my superpowers that I didn't realize, and I've talked about it before, is that I absolutely live to connect people, right? I live to connect. I'm that person at the party who's more excited about connecting to people sometimes than I am about me having a great time. Now, I have a good time, don't get me wrong, but that's just something I love doing. And that's part of why I do Entrepreneurs, right? I get to connect people all the time. But one of the other things that I've always loved doing that I want to talk to you about today, that there are books written on it that you should pay attention to, is the art of gift giving. Now, there's two components to this. And the book Giftology by John Ruhlin, I think it's pronounced Ruhlin or Rullin, I'm not sure how he pronounces it, but there is a book written called Giftology that you should all read. Now, I didn't find out about this book until well after I'd already been doing this for 40 years of my life. Now, there's two ways to give gifts to help build your business, to help build your personal network, to help in any way you can. And I want to talk about them. The first is not the way to do it is, if I give somebody a gift, they're going to give me something in return. Kind of like, in some very simplistic term, if you've ever read Robert Cialdini's stuff, the law of reciprocity, right? The reason you'd get a dollar bill from a pole in the mail back in the day. Yes, people, they used to give you a dollar attached to a pole because if they gave you a dollar, it was harder for you to say no, right? That's the first kind of gift. And I'm not talking about that. That's manipulative. And that's not who I ever want to be. But I love connecting with people. And if I'm talking to you and you mention to me, I've really been looking to figure out how I'm going to travel better. I'm lost. I don't know how to get to where I want to get to in terms of travel. I want to figure out the destinations I want to go to over time. And I run into a book on creating your ideal travel experience. I'll probably send it to you because I know it's going to help you. No, I can't solve that problem for you, but here's a book that can. If you tell me you have a problem communicating with your team, and I just saw a great book, I'm going to say, hey, I'm going to send you a book on this. If you've done me a favor, I might send you a card or I might send you a gift. That's like the second way. And believe it or not, that's a really, really good way to satisfy that need internally of helping other people and getting their attention. Because let's be honest, if you and I are having a conversation about how you have trouble with connecting with your team, and all of a sudden 2 weeks later, a book appears in the mail to your office with a card from Glenn saying, hey, hope this helps you with your problem. I'm not looking to get anything from you. You're a friend. I'm trying to ease your burden. I'm trying to make your life easier. If I could send a $25,000, consulting expert to your office to solve it, I would, but that's unreasonable, right? But a $19.99 book, I can take care of that. And it doesn't really impact my bottom line, but it nourishes my soul. It makes me feel better. And even more importantly for this illustration, how do you feel when you get that book? Now, if you're like most people, you're going to feel really good. You're going to feel taken care of. You're going to feel like someone listened to you, and you're going to feel like maybe you have a solution to a problem, or you just feel good in general. The average Joe doesn't get a gift in the mail and go, oh, another one of these stupid books. Maybe you're like that, and I would suggest some good therapy. But for most people, they're going to get something in the mail and feel really good, and you as the giver should feel good because of that. And that's when people get a gift from me and they say, well, thank you so much. I always remind them of the famous saying, the gift is for the giver, right? If you give something, just by the nature of giving it, you feel great, whether it's loved, not loved, given, and accepted easily or not accepted easily. You feel good by just giving it. And so I want you to give some thought to that. Now, I have also recently heard that if you want to get into the mailbox, if you will, if you want to get front and center with some famous person you want to speak for you, or you want them on your podcast, or you want to do something with them, you send them an outrageous gift. And I'm not in favor of this, but I've done smaller versions of that. And I was with somebody who's pretty well thought of, who said someone once sent him a bag of money, sent him $1,000. It got his attention. He reached out to them. Now, this person's time is worth a lot more than $1,000, but he got $1,000. And it got his attention. He reached out to the person and they actually did business. And, you can ask yourself in those particular cases, when it comes to the idea of giving a significant gift to open a door, if the person you're trying to get to is going to help you in some way that monetarily is 10x on what you're giving them, and you think there's a pretty good shot, go for it. There's no harm. As long as, and this is the as long as you feel good giving that gift. Now, if you said to me, Glenn, I want you to go give so-and-so $1,000 gift to hopefully get on their radar, but I don't really like that person. Maybe they're a means to an end. I'm probably never going to do it because I don't feel good about that. But if it's somebody I know, maybe it's a personality who runs a podcast or a website that's really helped me in my life, and I really would love to get them speak at, say, Entrepreneur Summit, I wouldn't be against the idea of sending a huge gift to get them on their radar if I can't get them any other way. Like, let's say The Rock, right? There's somebody everybody loves. If you hate The Rock, again, I would tell you to go to the same therapist as a person who doesn't like getting gifts. But let's say you like The Rock and you want The Rock to speak at, to a bunch of doctors in your community. Now, let me just tell you right now, I think The Rock's speaking fee is somewhere between $250,000 and $400,000 an hour, right? Probably one of the top 5 most expensive speakers in the world right now. So you probably don't have $250,000 to $400,000 to pay The Rock. But what if you wanted to get The Rock on your podcast, or you wanted to get 5 minutes with The Rock, or a letter from The Rock or something like that you felt you could leverage in some way that would be worth something to you for whatever reason. And I can't come up with the situation, but you know what I'm talking about. Would it be worth it for you to send him some sort of gift that was unique, different from what everybody else sent, to get his attention with a note? Hey, I would love to just 4 minutes of your time because I really respect you, care for you. Now, you might be throwing $1,000 in the garbage, or you might be investing $1,000 into that ability to have that 4 minutes with him. But again, you'd be very, very surprised what that gift can do. And last, but certainly not least, a good word goes a long way. Yes, I'm that guy who, walking into the supermarket, someone's walking out and they have something nice on, I will simply say, hey, that looks amazing, even though I don't know them, just because I want to brighten their day and give them a compliment. And it's been proven through studies that doing that sort of stuff makes you feel good and makes others feel good. And so the gift you can give people is saying nice things. I've reached out to people who are big influencers on social media simply to say something nice to them, and I've actually gotten their attention that way. Not that that matters a ton, but the gifts you give physically and the gifts you give verbally, do more of them, right? Take care of the people around you. If giving gifts doesn't bring you happiness, start giving more gifts and see if that changes. But my point here is, read the book Giftology, start giving more gifts in your life, and remember, the gift is always for the giver.